Hello, everyone. I'm super excited to be joined by Elisa, who is the Pinterest marketing manager over at Tailwind. You've seen her, I've seen her on the Facebook page, on YouTube, sharing amazing tips and just helping us to understand how we can make the most of Pinterest. Hello.
Hey, Natalie, I'm really happy to be here.
Super excited for us to chat. So today I wanted us to talk a bit about how we can help those, or how we can honestly help ourselves when we see our stats tanking. I feel like, maybe I spend too much time on Facebook, but I see a lot of posts, tear-filled and just heart open, asking for what can I do when my Pinterest stats are falling. It's, have you been hearing the same thing?
Oh yeah, I like you. I spend too much time in the Facebook groups seeing what people are talking about and what questions they have. And yeah, we're hearing like, why is everything changing? And yeah, I'm not getting any traffic. I'm not getting any impressions. I know that Pinterest just hates me. Yeah, all of that. I see that and I feel that. I really do.
Yeah, it's tough. I think especially if I've been on the platform for almost 5 years now, and I have seen changes. I think I would be lying if I said I didn't notice changes, and that maybe you have to put in a little bit more effort now than you had to in like 2017 or whatever. But this is the reality we're in. I still firmly believe at the end of the day, Pinterest is one of the best ways for bloggers and content creators in general to get traffic for free, right? At the end of the day, that's still true despite, the changes that are happening. So can you share with us why you think we're seeing this diminishing returns, or, less
different returns? Yeah. So Pinterest has been pretty clear about it, right? They're changing the way the platform works and what they want the platform to be. In the past, it's been very much a visual search and discovery engine where people save ideas and go to websites. And what they really want it to be is a place where pinners connect with content creators. It's totally different experience.
But my first thought is like Instagram.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, when they first started with story pins, which are now idea pins, it was very much like your stories deserve more than a double tap. Our stories don't disappear in 24 hours. So it's pretty clear what they're going for. And it was kind of a jab. Instagram is how I heard it anyway. I think, trying to differentiate a little bit. But that is the reality of it. So it's going to be great for influencer marketing. It'll probably be good for affiliate marketing. Pinterest is working on ways to monetize idea pins. They're not being real clear about how that's going to work. I think they're still trying to figure that out a little bit. But there will be benefit in there for creators. So like with anything, if you get in there early and you get really good at it, there's always an advantage for that early start. And it's almost like we're dealing with a brand new platform. And anytime you get in on the ground floor, it tends to work out well for you. So I would consider looking at this change as an opportunity to get in early, because it's a whole new direction. It really feels like a different platform. And the objective Pinterest has is much different than before. So if we can adapt, it'll be good for us.
So you heard it. Stop sleeping on idea pins.
Yeah.
Not going away.
They're
not going back.
No, they're not. I understand that as content creators, we love that traffic from Pinterest. And I think, there's no plan that I know of for static pins or video pins to go away. Yeah. So we're still going to get that traffic, but really Pinterest is all in on idea pins, and I get it. There's no link, but there are other benefits that we can talk about, and we still have static pins and video pins.
Right. So keep creating. I always say, even in my course, don't just create one type of pin. We want to ensure that, even if it's like a different style, a different format, you're kind of checking all the boxes, because some people like video pins, some people like standard pins, and the algorithm is pushing those idea pins. So we don't want to miss out
Right.
on
That would be sad.
those opportunities. Can you share with us some of those benefits of creating idea pins and getting in early? Because I think the one thing that we always fixate on is there's no link. And yeah, we get it. There's no link. Let's move on.
There is no link. There never will be a link, no matter how many times you ask.
And
because
do
the
not
purpose,
put it in the description, right?
Do not put it in the description, because Pinterest can see that, and they've said that they're going to limit distribution if you do that, which you don't want to happen. So Pinterest has been really clear about, no, there's no link. And the whole point of it is to put all of the information somebody would need in that idea pin, which I know goes against everything that we've been doing on Pinterest. We always say, like, don't give it all away. So they have to go to your website. Now it's give it all away so your idea pin doesn't frustrate people. Because some people have been saying, well, I get all these comments like, how am I supposed to do this if there's no link? Well, the idea is you don't need a link if you put all the information in your idea pin.
And you have like 20 slides, right? I do believe
you have 20 slides.
So you can do a lot. And I think each video can be up to a minute. I might be wrong.
I think that's right. Yeah.
I feel like in my head that sounds like way too long, but maybe I think
it does sound long, but I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. And you can list put in a list of supplies. You can rate how easy or hard the project is. There's a lot you can do to help people actually act on your video, or on your idea pin. So, I mean, I don't know. I would be really interested to see, and I think we'll see more as people add comments and add photos, to see how many people really are like following along with an idea pin to make a recipe or to do a project. I think that will be really interesting as time goes on.
Because I remember I was just rewatching your what's actually working on Pinterest right now video, and you said the idea pins that do the best are the ones that have the reactions, the comments, and the photos being added to them.
Pins in general that have those reactions, those comments, those photos, those like 89% of the super high performing pins we looked at, which we kind of put that at 5,000 saves or more. 89% of them had some combination of reactions, comments, or photos. Yeah, you definitely want that. And now with idea pins, like before it felt like, oh yeah, but only recipes ever get those, right? But now anybody can. So I've been kind of experimenting with them mostly on my own account, because I usually record myself when I paint, partially so I can learn. I'm pulling up my pin right now. I can go back, and if I liked it, I can go back and figure out, like, what did I do that made this actually work? But I'm getting comments on them. I've never gotten comments on pins in my life. Wow. And it's really kind of cool. Yeah, I like it. I didn't think I was going to like Pinterest being more social, but I kind of do.
It's like, it almost feels wrong. Like, for the longest time, I feel like Pinterest has been the platform for introverts and people who don't like having to be social. But now, and I think it's in a way breaking this whole stance a lot of us have, saying that Pinterest isn't social media, and now Pinterest is like, are you sure?
We are. Yes, exactly. Are you sure? Yeah, I know. And it's even the recommendations from Pinterest are like, let people hear your voice, let people see your face. And it's like, oh.
This is the thing that I find that can be a hang up on these idea pins. And it's even a hang up for me, and I'm doing YouTube videos, is I don't see myself as like a TikToker or as an Instagram reel person. Like I don't know how to do this stuff, right? So what are your tips for someone who feels like, I can't show my face, I can't do these dances, I don't want anyone to hear my voice? Like, how can we get around that?
Oh, you have to get around that. So I'm not saying you have to dance either. I'm not dancing on an idea pin or a reel or TikTok ever. But you do have something of value to share. And if you can concentrate on, okay, I know this thing that a lot of people don't know that they want to know, that they need to know. So think about the content and how you're helping, rather than, oh, what does my face look like? Um, and that's kind of my advice for any introvert who wants to do public speaking is get out of your head by concentrating on the idea so much that you don't think about yourself. And it really does work. I did one idea pin and I do show my face, and it's it's a terrible picture. But I wanted people to know who I am. And that's me with my goofy hair bonnet on so that I don't get my hair in the paint. Yeah, so you don't have to go on video, but do show yourself. Right. So if I wanted to teach how to do painting, and I'm just doing it more like, here's my process. Oh yeah, it's that one of the very most recent one that has my picture in it.
This one, right? Is it this
Yep, one? That one. Yeah. Yeah, playing with music. It's tricky on idea pins because you can't like continue the music across pages. So it will either restart or you can use, yeah, it's a little bit awkward. Yeah. But at least the mobile editor is a lot better now. A lot easier.
Love it. Okay. So basically we've just gotta get a little bit out of our comfort zone.
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, that wasn't hard. I know I look goofy, but I don't care. It's not about, it kind of is about me, but whatever.
Yeah. Okay. I like this. And I guess I would say, do you have any tips for anyone who's not in a very obvious how to create an idea pin niche, like art, or so like the easy ones are like food, travel,
fashion.
Yeah. So like, for example, I'm in personal development and sometimes I'm like,
Okay. Well, I have another example for you. On the Tailwind account, I have created a total of 2 idea pins so far, because you're right, it is harder. So as a creator, like as a painter or recipe, your workflow probably involves creating that content that you can use an idea pin, right? So I was already videoing, taking pictures, that was already available. When it came time to, oh my goodness. When it came time to make an idea pin for Tailwind, it was like, I'm going to have to storyboard this, come up with a script, and figure out how I kind of want it to flow. And I wanted all of these pages to be videos. So it took me a very long time. But my suggestion would be start with a blog post, right? And use each subheading as a page on an idea pin, right? So you're providing something of value. This one is an idea pin about how to make idea pins. Which,
of you.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah. And I laughed when you pulled up the account because that first one I made, the cover photo is just hilarious. But it was doing so well, I didn't have the heart to take it down. So.
You're doing like a half link. I like it.
Yeah. Someone accused me of having been in the wine or something. Like, nah, it's just how these platforms choose their cover photos, and I wasn't able to edit it. You should be able to edit it now, but at the time you couldn't. So that's why with the first one, I had the very first part of it be just an image, because I didn't want any more of those floating around.
Issues happening. So do you find that, so I noticed you did a combination of slides and video. Any recommendations on, like, can an only slide type idea pin do well? Or
They do better with video. So aside from that one intro page on that one idea pin, all of the rest of the slides or the pages are video.
Okay.
So they have some kind of animation going. I was just doing that because I was trying to follow all the rules, right? For my first one for Tailwind, I wanted to see how much I could get out of it. But yeah, do what you have. If you have video, try to use it in that very first page, unless it's making your face look crazy.
But maybe that works.
Yeah, but
I have a theory about like funny and this does not apply to your image, but like kind of funky, and even the ugly pin does well, and your photo was not ugly. But I have a theory about that.
You're very kind. I've heard that one too before, like on YouTube, if you choose like a kind of like really animated but weird, awkward, that it works better. And that's honestly why I didn't take it down, is because people liked it and they reacted to it. And I was like, I can take one for the team. And yeah, but really that's what it's about, right? Like thinking about the value you're providing more than about yourself. All right. That helps in so many areas of life.
I'm gonna try. I've been creating idea pins for other people's accounts, but not my own.
Yeah, so take a blog post that you really are happy about and make an idea pin about it. You could even do you speaking, right? And so the text on the image, you should have captions for everything, but even if you just put a caption for the heading and you spoke through the rest of that section, that would be fine too.
I'm gonna try this. This will be my weekend.
Oh, I'm excited about that.
So another thing I noticed that you mentioned in your video about what's working right now on Pinterest, I'm gonna put the link below for anyone who hasn't watched that awesome video, is that you encourage us to kind of create unique content, to stop pushing the same old, bread recipes or whatever. How do we do that though? Like how can we be creative? And
that's the trick, right? So it really isn't me. It's
Pinterest.
Yeah. Yeah, Pinterest. So last summer they put out a series of like 15-second videos that are really cute, and they're like, we have 4 million people searching for banana ideas,
not banana bread,
but not banana bread. And so they're really calling out like, there are areas on Pinterest that aren't being served. Where can you fit in there without the competition of banana bread? And then the video shows like all the like soup and appetizers and desserts, like really colorful, beautiful things. But I feel like people are coming up with unique ideas all the time, and maybe they don't know it. Okay. Or maybe they just need a new way to present it. Because that's another thing, like maybe you have a blog post or a product that did really well on Pinterest and you're just trying to give it some new life. Well, think about another way that you could show it, talk about it, right? Use it in an idea pin or show it being used in a video pin in just a different way that people might not have thought of.
Okay. So that's the challenge, everyone. Get out of your comfort zone, start creating those idea pins, and think about your content in a new way that can really show how awesome you are on the Pinterest platform.
Yeah, and like in your group, you could maybe even start a thread, like share something you want to refresh or show in a new light, and everyone could kind of chime in on, oh, you could do this, you could do that. Because I think when it's your product, you have a real clear vision for it, right? And it might be hard to think beyond that.
Get outside the box.
But other people can do that a lot easier, it seems.
I feel I need to do like an idea pin challenge or something.
Oh, you should.
Would you want to come on and fun. Like, yes, this is happening.
Yeah, let's do it.
I like this idea.
Okay. Yeah, I think though you asked a question. I didn't answer the whole thing. It was kind of about what is the benefit of idea pins?
Oh yes, tell us.
Okay. So future benefit, monetization, right? So we can tag people now. So when I create a idea pin about painting, I will tag like the company that made the pigments, the company that made the paint. I'll tag Michael's Crafts because that's where I spend all my money. And yeah, it's honest. And my hope is maybe someday one of my idea pins will just take off like crazy, and Michael's will be like, who is this person? And then they'll send me all kinds of paint for free. That could happen. Or you as a blogger, they might see your idea pin and be like, this lady is awesome, I need to have her on my show. Or I want to have her on my blog, or I want to pay her to represent me with this product or this idea. I see that there's a lot of potential there. Influencer marketing, basically, like Instagram. Yes. Yeah. And if you look at your idea pin stats, and it's easier sometimes to see this on mobile. So I can see impressions, pin clicks, saves. I can see follows that result from this idea pin, and I can see profile visits too. So you will get more people visiting your profile, which is another thing to keep in mind. Like, how does your profile look? Like, is it what you want?
On that whole, like, how does your profile look? Have you noticed that now when somebody visits your profile, it doesn't look how you organized it? It automatically shows by the board you last pinned to.
No, I noticed that it will default to your created tab.
So it goes to your created tab, but then when you click on your saved tab, your boards are like all mixed up.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
If anyone even looks there anymore, I guess it's all about the created tab, right?
I think it is, because especially if they're going to your profile, like, I don't think they care about what you're saving. I think they care about what you're creating.
And right up top, if in case anybody missed this, when they come to your profile, the first thing they see are your idea pins.
Then it's like, oh, more by Tailwind.
And all of your other stuff. But
yes, all the other stuff.
You definitely want to put this here.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that. My next question is just like the basics of Pinterest, because I think sometimes we forget about those, you know, the principles and what's working right now. So can you take us a bit through maybe just the ideal workflow? Like, you published a blog post, then you're going to pin it to your best possible board, your main image, correct?
Yep. And when you say best possible board, we're talking about the most relevant.
Most relevant with the proper keywords that makes the most sense for your content. So if it's a recipe, you're not putting it to a travel board.
No, and you're not even putting it to a recipe board. You're going to put it to easy chicken dinner recipe board, right? Yeah, it's going to be more specific. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So that's good. One of the things we are doing is we did a study and we found out that, remember how the half-life of a pin used to be about 4 months? So you'd get about half of the engagement you're going to get in 4 months. Now it's 2 months. And that doesn't mean, like, because I can hear people going, hey, but I still get a ton of traffic from my 5-year-old pin.
I do too.
This is just average, right? Me too. But we're just talking like average. It's about 2 months. So what we do is we send out a pin right away. And then we have a couple of additional ones we'll send out over the next few weeks. And then we'll make some extras with Tailwind Create, and we will send those out in 2 months, and then another one in 2 months. So to keep that going.
And to be clear, we're talking about created fresh pins that have never been uploaded or seen on Pinterest before.
Yep.
And you are not repinning. Or are you?
Well, sometimes, like, you can save a pin to more than one relevant board, and you will still get engagement on that. It's quickly diminishing returns though. Like, your best, by far, your most impact is going to be that very first time that you share your pin, but it doesn't mean that when you reshare it, you get nothing. It's just not as much. Yeah. So we found too that when people go into Tailwind Create and they make a brand new pin and they share that, they're going to get 373% more saves than they would have if they just shared the same pin again.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So
Tailwind Create, like,
it's like 2 minutes.
I did to get that much 5 pins, 5 minutes. I'll put the link.
Ooh, very nice.
So yeah. Okay. And what I also do is I will then take my pin and add it to my Tailwind communities, because I found that hands down, that is the best way for a pin to take off.
Oh, very nice.
Especially if someone's seeing like 000, that still happens to me too. Quite a lot, actually. And I take that pin, give it some love in Tailwind communities, and then I start to see, you know, things progress better.
Really? Very good. Love to hear that.
So, and then you would then say create an idea pin would be the next step, right? If it's a good post.
if it's okay, so it is kind of a lot of work, but if, and people will ask, well, how many should I make? The only guideline I can give you is that if you join the Pinterest creator community, the rule is you have to create at least one idea pin per month, right? So that might give you
the Pinterest
creator community.
Is that when you sign the creator code?
No, it's actually, this is something different, which you should probably do. So if you go to community.pinterest.biz, which is their, it's kind of like, okay. So if you go under, do we have this? Yes. Do you see creator hubs?
Am I looking? Creator hubs?
Yeah. Creator hubs, US creator community. There you go.
Oh, I don't belong here. I'm actually not in the US.
Oh, okay. Where are you?
Canada.
Canada? Is there one for Canada?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Hey, Pinterest, why you don't love us?
I know. I wonder if you could join anyway. See, that's where I'm getting this. To stay in the creator community program, you must be creating one idea pin per month. So that's kind of like my bare minimum you have to do. To do one a week would be great. But especially if you're like you're a coach or you're a blogger, like in the information space, it's going to take a little bit more work probably.
And I also think that you can find a way to repurpose these idea pins because, okay, yeah, I think something I suggested in another video I did on them is instead of looking at taking your TikTok or your reel and putting it on Pinterest, maybe prioritize Pinterest and then find a way to put it on those other platforms. And there's also web stories. There's also YouTube shorts. So there's like, everybody is all about this, 16:9 video type format where you tell everything. It's not just Pinterest. Like every platform has it.
Yeah. Isn't that nice that they're not all like just a little bit different? I could so see that happening where you'd have to make slightly different ones for each platform, but no, they're all the same, which is wonderful.
Right? Saves you time that way.
Yeah.
Love it. Any other tips and tricks for us that we should know, especially to help that person who's like, okay, my stats are falling, and basically you're telling me I need to hop on the idea bandwagon. If I don't, I'm going to be left behind.
Pretty much. But I will also say that video pins are pretty cool as well. So when we looked at, back in March, we looked at 20 million pins that paid Tailwind users were sending out. We looked at them sent via all methods, whether it was Pinterest or via Tailwind, whatever. But it was only paid Tailwind users. So we know these are marketers who are investing in their marketing. We wanted to kind of find out what types of pins are people saving, which are best for saves, and does it matter by following count? So what I mean by that is it better to make story pins if you're a big account or a small account? Didn't really expect to find the follower count made a difference, but it does. So
Wait,
yes.
What?
Yeah, I know. So what we found is for static images, right? I know how well they're doing. Sometimes okay, sometimes not so much.
Yes.
Resharing a static image pin will get you some engagement, but videos get 8 times more saves than static pins.
Videos get 8 times. I can see that.
Yeah.
I do a lot of those for quotes, and
okay, good.
They do. Yeah, some of them have had like 500,000 views.
Wow.
Crazy. Like that's rare. Like I'm not saying like every single pin I post does so well, but I find with Pinterest, you just only need like maybe 5% or less to do really well and you're like good. But that's kind of my approach to it.
Good. Yeah. So 8 times more saves than a static pin. Idea pins get 41 times more than a static pin. Yeah.
That's like, I'm trying to pull up the article because I know I have a link to it somewhere. But that's insane. You said 41 times.
41 times more saves than a static pin on average. Yeah.
That's like, what are we waiting for? So if you're stuck at one, like you're only getting one save on your pins. imagine if you were getting 41 saves.
I know, you'd feel a lot better.
So the more
Yeah.
followers, the better. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah. Yeah. And we always used to say, oh, followers don't matter on Pinterest because people who don't follow you will still see your content. That is still true.
Mm-hmm.
But what we're finding, okay, so we're finding that saves of idea pins don't do well at all, for one thing. Like, don't reshare your idea pins. It's not even worth the time to do that, which kind of makes sense, right? How many do you really need in your account? But yes, it matters. So if you are, I'm trying to make sure I get this right. Okay, idea pins are especially engaging for accounts with over 10,000 followers, right? So whatever they're doing with the algorithm and how they display idea pins, they work really well if you have over 10,000 followers. So it doesn't mean you shouldn't make them if you don't have that, but just like if you're in that size range, like really focus on idea pins. If you are not over 10,000, make more video pins. So that actually, video pins seem to be especially engaging for accounts below 10,000 followers.
Okay. So you got your marching orders. You have less than 10,000 followers. Prioritize video pins. You should still create standard pins because you get clicks on those. And if you have over 10,000, you should get on those idea pins. So you're saying I need to create idea pins?
Yes, I'm so sorry, but yes, you do. It's really kind of fun. I mean, I really didn't think that I would enjoy seeing the reactions and the comments come through, but I do.
I'm gonna get into it. Like
you will. Yeah, and here's the thing is, we can kind of joke about them going after Instagram, but it's not the same, right? Instagram can be a positive place depending on who you follow, but Pinterest in general is a really positive place of inspiration, and they're really concerned with keeping it that way, keeping the fake news out, and keeping the spam out.
I've seen some, even just like negative comments, like, go away. Like, why are you here?
Yeah, and that's like the creator code of conduct, right? And I think they even have this thing now where if you start to type something and it has negative words in it, it will pop up and say, are you sure you want to post this? Like, we're trying to keep this a happy place.
Nice.
I mean, totally paraphrasing here, but I just don't, it just doesn't feel the same as Instagram, even though it has the social aspect. So I don't know, it might be more fun than we thought.
Right. I feel like most things can be fun. You just got to get, for me, I find that with Pinterest in general, like a lot of people, they don't start because it's like, oh, it's a mental hurdle. Like we all need to clear the mental hurdle of that it's too hard, that it's too much time, that it's too much work.
Yeah.
Like once we get over that, you're good. You know, you're cruising. The first one's going to be difficult. Then you can create a template and then it'll be easier.
That's right. You can. Yeah. And really, I think anytime there's a big shift like this in a platform that we love, that we're relying on a lot, is a good time to examine your marketing as a whole. Like, am I investing too much in Pinterest?
Yeah.
To the exclusion of other platforms that could be helping me as well. So like we know Pinterest is really great for growing awareness and for website traffic, but Instagram is really great for building that know, like, and trust factor and for sales, right? And then Facebook is where you really connect with your community, like we're doing right now. And your website, of course, that's the foundation of all of it. So I think, I've seen people be like, I'm going back to SEO. Well, good. Do SEO. Do Pinterest too.
It's not either or.
Exactly.
It's and.
Yes, it's and. Yes. So not saying you have to do all of them, but definitely need to be doing more than one, because when something like this happens and a platform says, hey, we're going to change how everything works, it won't be that upsetting. Yeah.
And I do, as much as I love Pinterest and I hope it never ever goes away, platforms have come and gone in the past. Like,
so true.
Anyone remember, what is it?
Vine? Yes. Vine, Blab, Google Plus. Yeah.
So it's very dangerous and risky to build your entire business on one sole platform that you do not own. So I think diversifying and looking at how you're spending your time is a wise decision for anyone.
Yeah. And the one that I always feel like I need to duck when I bring it up is to consider advertising. Yeah, like, don't hit me. I know nobody really wants to hear that. Right. But Pinterest ads can be affordable. So just a couple like little quick tips. If you've never done it, before, or maybe you've done it and it didn't really work out well for you, start with a consideration campaign. Used to be a traffic campaign. I always have to switch that in my head, because then you're just paying for clicks. Now you are paying for clicks on the pin, not clicks to your actual website. So you're going to want to make sure you're looking at both in the dashboard.
On a pin.
Yeah. So
clicks, like to click to enlarge, like it doesn't automatically click to the site. And I'm going to bring up an ad. I'll go to Pinterest.
Yeah, it does automatically go to a site, but people don't always mean to. There are two different numbers you should look at, right? Pin clicks and outbound clicks.
Pin clicks. So this is like promoted. That automatically goes to a website.
Yep. You just cost Honda some money.
And they're going to chase me across every platform with their ads.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. So watch those click rates. And then the other one, if you just want to get eyeballs on it and get more clicks, I have found a really affordable way to do that is to use interests. So in interest targeting, I've gotten some really cheap clicks that way, and then you can retarget them. So you might try that. But the cool thing about Pinterest ads is as you are promoting a pin, it's getting a ton more distribution, which means that people are going to be saving it a lot more than they would have, which means that then people are going to click on those versions of that pin, and you don't pay for that. Right? I love a bargain.
That makes a lot of sense, because if you're, running a Facebook ad, an Instagram ad, it's not like they can save it. Like it's just gone. It's gone. Your pin lives on.
Your pin lives on, and you never would have had all those saves, all those repins if you hadn't paid to get it in front of more people.
I love that.
Yeah. So it does have a downstream impact even on what you'll see as organic traffic, and it continues for months. So, I'm a fan.
And of course, you should be responsible when you run ads. You make sure that, I would say that it's not just about traffic, that it's when someone comes to your site, they know what to do. There's an
totally
form, whether, there's a thank you offer and like a welcome, like you've got your whole funnel laid out, and all you just need is to like fill it up.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And there are, you can set up conversion tracking fairly easily too. So you'll see which ones are resulting in leads, sales, signups, things like that.
Wonderful. Yeah. Look at all these tips we have. So idea pins and video pins if you have less than 10,000 followers. And if you have the budget and, you have a funnel, maybe test paying for ads, because, Pinterest loves those people. Awesome. Thank you. Any final thoughts? How can we connect with you? I'm going to put links, obviously, to the Tailwind blog, to the Tailwind channel, to your own blog. People should check you out.
Oh, my own blog I can't remember the last time I posted. It's been like years. But you can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Alisa M. Meredith. And yeah, I was happy to tweet or chat. Yeah. And, as far as Tailwind goes, the reason that we're branching out, right? So now we have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have Pinterest, is because we realize like you definitely need to diversify. Us as a business, all of us as business owners, and we need to make it easier, right? Because as we're saying these things, we're saying make idea pins, don't rely on one platform. I know what I would be thinking. I'd be like, yeah, easy for you to say, right? But I'm only one person or maybe two people, and I don't have time for that. So that is why we made Tailwind Create. And that's why you should watch Natalie's video, because it makes it really fast. Because there are a lot of things in your business that only you can do that require your brain and your time. But making images is not one of them.
Right? You don't need to. I made a whole video about it. I'll put a link. But yeah, you don't need to spend all that time on this.
It's quick.
I love it. And I heard that, is it true, we'll be able to schedule to Facebook soon?
Yes, that is true. Yeah. And if you haven't been in Tailwind this week, even, you'll see a very different look for Tailwind Create.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just explored and I love. It's exciting.
Oh, good.
Actually, one of the suggestions I made is actually in there. I was like, so how do I access all my old designs? Like I forgot who's in charge of that. And he's like, well, that's a good point. And I see that now I can do that. So
yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely. We listen to our member feedback and it does find its way into the roadmap. So if you ever have any ideas, write into help@tailwindapp.com. And I know like some of the talk about Pinterest not working also comes along with a side of Tailwind not working, right? And so we did do a study that showed that saving via Tailwind or Pinterest doesn't make any difference as far as saves goes. Like most of the time people are looking at impressions. We can't even pull accurate impression numbers. So we went with saves. But if you're not getting any impressions, you're not getting any saves. So we found it makes no difference. And actually saving the second time with Tailwind actually does a little bit better.
Okay.
But it's like 15% higher, but I think it might be because of Smart Schedule. I don't know. Not really sure on that. It's just a tiny number. So it's not really a big deal, but yeah. So, and then if someone's thinking, okay, I hear what you're saying, but I know it's not the case for me. Like I can't get any traction when I use Tailwind. You can write into help@tailwindapp.com and we can look into that for you because we can see like the repins you get on pins sent out via Pinterest versus Tailwind, what kind of pin it is. Yeah, so if that has you concerned, you can write in.
Awesome. And I actually did a whole video asking it's a top question, like should I be manually pinning or pinning with a scheduler like Tailwind? And I would say that there's like you said, there's no difference in how the pins perform. You said maybe the save does slightly better, but the difference is in terms of your ability to manage your time. So, that is the biggest benefit. And of course you get Tailwind communities, which I love, and Tailwind Create. And hey, you guys have like a free forever plan. Like, hello.
We do. Yeah. That's great because it allows you to like dip your toe in and get your business off the ground. And then when you're ready for more, we have other plans too.
Love it. I love Tailwind.
Thank you. We love you too.
Such a fan. Thank you so much, Elisa.
Thank you, Natalie.
This has been wonderful. Like I feel actually excited to create idea pins and I hope you all do too.
Yeah, and I hope I get to see them.
You will. I'll send them to you. I'll be like, what do you think?
Yeah, please do.
Thank you. So be sure, everyone, to, if you haven't as yet, give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe because I've got weekly Pinterest training coming your way. And check out the next video. You're going to enjoy it. Bye for now.
Bye.